Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another weekly forecast. Before we get started, what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at the weekly calendar for the upcoming week. So obviously we've got the 19th to the 23rd, that's what we'll be focusing on, and we can see right away on the 19th we have a bank holiday, which means that on Monday we will not be trading. We'll let Monday print, see how that goes, and you can see Tuesday we've got no news, and then Wednesday we have your boy Trump speaking. We'll see what he's going to have to say over the Greenland stuff that's been going on. So that's going to be quite key when he speaks at 8:30. So the manipulation could be occurring here. So the way I'd trade this is, again, let's continue actually. We've got Thursday, core PC, final GDP, and Friday we have some high impact news at 9:45. So essentially what we're looking for is we're looking for sort of an end of the week, a lot of volatility kicking in towards the end of the week here, potentially even a Wednesday sort of high of the week or even low of the week here, and then a reversal towards the end of the week. So that's what we're going to be looking for, sort of manipulation leading up towards Wednesday, and then sort of your expansion phase around Thursday, Friday, or it could even be manipulation on Thursday. We'll see how it goes. But essentially what you've got these 8:30 sort of newses at 8:30. What you want to do is you want to see this to be a potential manipulation leg for the day, whether it's on Wednesday or Thursday, and then at 9:30 we're likely to see expansions, or even 9:30 itself could be another manipulation for an expansion. And then for this one, this news event's at 9:45, so we could have an entry at this time, or we're likely to wait. We are likely to wait till 10 a.m., which is the next hour candle open. So that's the news done Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, with knowing that, we're going to jump straight into the charts and start analyzing. So if we have a look at what happened last week, right, and we can have a look at the NASDAQ chart. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to be talking about gold as well, so stick around because you might learn a thing or two on the way I sort of analyze the charts, and it might give you some clarity on how we're sort of, plotting these values. So if we start off on the daily, and what we'll do is we'll draw a line across here. So you can see here I've already got PML. This is the prior monthly low, so this is the December low, and then we have a line going across here, and this would be the December high, which is the prior monthly high. Now you can see we have these SMTs kicking off here, right? What this is telling us is that ES, which is on this side, has already taken out all of these highs. As you can see, high, all of these highs have been swept already. Now, this doesn't mean that NQ is about to roll over. It will mean that after it meets a certain condition, but nothing right now. This could be just manipulation at the moment where price is holding, and telling us that, okay, price may not need to go to this prior yearly high. However, there is a imbalanced price range just above the prior monthly high. So look at this consolidation that's been going on. This is why I sort of been waiting to create a video like this, because I just wanted to see exactly what occurs before, we have that expansion. And you can see right now what we're getting at the start of January, essentially is from here all the way to there. This is the price action that we've been having at the moment. It's just a bunch of time distortion, consolidation that we're having, waiting for some sort of expansion to an area or towards the downside. Now, sticking on the daily chart, our main sort of invalidation level for a buy program at the moment is, if I can draw this correctly, oh my gosh, it's not even shift. I'm on a Mac, there we go. Okay, there we go. So this is the bullish PD array that I'm monitoring on the daily time frame. Right, so this is this daily BISI here that you can see that price tapped into. The week opened, price expanded away from it, and now it's been used as support. So as long as price stays above this sort of gap here, then we are likely to keep trying to push towards this red box here. Now again, as I said, the SMTs that we have here are not yet valid. Why? Because price is still showing that it's still in a buy program. So these SMTs can be ignored for now until we get some sort of break of structure or CSD. So similar sort of thing. So if price decides to break below this, that's when we can start saying, right, okay, these highs may be left, and price may, for now, and price may start attacking the prime monthly low. However, with this being such a liquid area, as we can see, look at these highs, right? They're not getting swept. I have a feeling we're very close to be taken at these highs, right? Maybe we might have some manipulation lower and then come back later, but keep an eye, mark this on your charts and keep an eye on these highs and the prime monthly high. That could be your easy sort of level to mark up. So anyway, keeping it short, what we want to see is potentially the start of the week's open low. If you get the start of the week opening low and then price started to attack that, that would be great. What I want to do is, I actually didn't mark it on my charts, is the prior weekly low. And I believe that was here. That was this Wednesday. So we have a prior weekly low here and we have a prior weekly high. So these are the weekly highs that's just been printed on the last week. Again, it's a similar sort of thing. You want to see potentially even one side get taken out for price to then revert to the other side. This is how price collects its liquidity to go and attack the opposing direction. You don't believe me? Check what happened the week before. Check what happened last week. Look at this. The high was taken and then look where price went to attack almost that low there. So you can see that we're very close to that. And we're just building up liquidity on the lows here. All of these lows have not been swept. This low, obviously this low got swept, this low didn't get swept, this low, this and this low. So there's engineered liquidity being built up, and you can potentially see that very clearly on the daily time frame with a bloody trend line, right? Similar sort of thing, you could potentially even do that. All of this is liquidity that's being left at the bottom here. Now we need, and this is the array that is guiding me, whether to keep buying or whether to start attacking these lows. And the fact that we're still sitting above this is saying, okay, we're just going to be sort of, consolidating within this range until we just decide to break up. And you can see that whole sort of wedge pattern that, everyone's using, but we're just keeping it clean with, just a single array, single premium array and a single discount array to guide order flow and to gauge it. So essentially what we want to see is that if the week opens low and starts attacking this low, this could be a prior weekly low sweep. We want to see that price doesn't displace and close below. We could see a wick below it, but as long as we stay inside this area, then price could start reverting and start attacking the prior weekly high. Or what we could get is price starting pushing up. Right when Trump speaks, we get some madness kicking off. These are all like sort of scenarios that you need to have planned to understand the weekly profile going into the week. So that's pretty much it on NQ. I could drop down lower and start giving you these arrays, but it's going to get a bit confusing for this video. So I'll keep it on the daily time frame because this is a weekly forecast. And what we'll do is we'll jump into gold. But before we switch over, I do want to say that we do have a checklist which I trade on and which I use on a day-to-day. The link will be in the description. It is free. It's something that I coded myself, and it is something that I will continue to expand on. If I can search it, it should be TTP checklist. Here we go. This will be in the description, and you can see that I have been releasing updates to this indicator, and I'm going to keep doing it. So you identify your POI. All of this, I'm not going to go in too much into detail, but in short, is essentially a checklist which helps you, find your A+ setup. If all of the items are ticked, then you're likely ready to enter the trade. However, if not, then you can sort of wait. And these are automatic. SMT and CSD are manual, but the rest of them are automatic, where they sort of will automatically tick based off. You can see this one, a PCL reclaimed. For this example, this is the prior cycle low. Here you can see we swept it, and then this candle reclaimed it because it was closed back above, which should be acting as support, which is why we enter. Stop loss below there. And then for this trade, I believe what happened is that the target was hit. So that's pretty much that. Let's switch back over to the chart. Thought a little sponsor by myself because it was my own code. Right, gold. Hello, welcome back, gold. It's been a while. Let's see what's going on, what's been happening. I did have a quick, test to see, a bit of back testing to see if my, daily analysis works on this, and it still does. It's still all good in terms of how it's been sort of performing. So this is the prior weekly low. We want to mark this one up, and we can already see that, you know, it's still been bullish. I've been away from this for a while, but I've been hearing, you know, all-time highs still getting created. But we still have this at the moment where we have a prior weekly high right here and a prior weekly low right here. Notice that December's high, the yearly high, has already been breached. So if we do the monthly, we can see the prior monthly high has already been breached here. So we are quite high in the range, always knowing that if price does want to flip, we are quite high, but it doesn't matter how high we are. It all matters about order flow. So immediately the first thing that's sticking out to me when I'm looking at this chart, and to be honest, you guys might find a lot of value from me analyzing this, because this is something that I'm coming back to. It's not something that I've been following. So I'm going to show you raw what happens, you know, when I sort of analyze these charts. So essentially the first thing that's sticking out to me is this BISI here. The reason why I picked this one and not any of the other ones is because this candle, notice how price immediately on the 12th of January closed above the prior monthly high. This was the prior yearly high, you can even go, so it's even more significant. I'll just do PMH, and if you guys are following, this was last year's high in 2025. So what happened is that this candle exploded towards the upside, closed above last year's high, last month's high, and left an imbalance. So this is your key array that you will be using when trading gold going into this week. And as long as price stays above this array, we will likely to see higher prices and price continuing. And you might be like, oh, where am I targeting? Well, we've got last week's high. You can target as liquidity, and let the prior daily highs, anything, you know, with the highs, you likely can target, and then you can target, you know, whole numbers, institutional values like 4,700. So you can actually mark that on the chart like so, and remove that. And there we go. So you have 4,700 subtype. You can start using that as your little gauge in price, and you can even go down to like 45.50. Look at this high, last year's high. If I put a line there, look at the value on the right, 45.50. So when you split them out into hundreds, so 4,600, or let me do that, yeah, 4,600, 4,500, what you can do is you can find the midpoint. So I'm changing this color because this is the midpoint. I'll make it green so it's clear. And look at how price sort of was bouncing off 4,500 and then closed above the midpoint, and look at it, just stop. It stopped right at 4,600. Price is now closed above 4,600, and guess where it's come back to? The midpoint level. So it's going to be using these and climbing, you know, climbing at these levels. So these might be ones that you want to start seeing, 46.50 and 4,700. You know, you can start using those as stepping stones, and that's how you sort of can gauge if your arrays, your discount arrays line up with these institutional levels. Then it's key. Look at this array that we have here. This BISI that we have here has aligned up perfectly with that 45.50 level, and we've got an institutional value. And then what you can do then is drop down into those lower time frames and trade it. And again, I was back testing this, so I do see what we had going on here is we clearly had price on Wednesday take out the prior daily high. No, sorry, not the prior daily high. It pushed up, already took out Tuesday's high here. And then, so we are quite high in the range. But remember, what has been happening is buyers have been making the money. So it's a simple market maker model that we had last week on gold. And again, if you guys don't know what market maker models are, essentially you can see that price started its move up from here, and I can draw a curve to imitate this for you. And this is exactly how I sort of trade it. It's pretty much how I trade every single market. And then we have the left-sided curve. It's not really the cleanest, but essentially what you'd have is that the price started its way up here. This is the left side of the curve. Once we had the reversal and price confirmed the reversal, where are we targeting? We would be targeting these gaps right here. So there's imbalances, and we have the low on the low of the week actually. Yeah, that is the Sunday low. So the whole week started off is this is a whole, 1 week market maker model. Simple as that. So you're seeing it live right here. That Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was one whole market maker model. Wednesday was the middle of it, bang on. Like the middle of the week, right? So, and then Thursday, Friday was just sells. And obviously, yes, we did have some consolidation here, but there was a nice clean move on Friday, which you guys would have been able to get in, where we had accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. And that was the distribution to the downside, straight back down into here. So that's pretty much it. Actually, I didn't really say much on this, but essentially what we have is we have certain equal highs around here that you can mark up with a line. And I likely see that because this market maker model has ended, i.e. we pushed up, pushed down, what's next? We've had the push down, we potentially could get a push up. So this could be its own market maker model. So that's pretty much it. As long as price stays above this blue box here and does not close below, we're likely to see higher prices. And I'll guide you guys on my Telegram. The link will be in the description. Daily, I'll be sharing some daily, daily analysis from invalidation levels. It'll actually guide you. I was going to share this, but that's actually my QR code. I'm not actually logged in. But it seems like I did do a poll on my Telegram, which says which sort of analysis would you guys like more of, and I think it was like by far a winner of gold. So I think I'm happy to start sharing some gold analysis. The link is in the description for my free Telegram, and yeah, I'll be posting some free gold analysis for you guys. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you missed hearing me, and happy that I'm back. But if you are, like, comment, all that good stuff. I'll leave you guys to it. It's been a waste of FX. Peace out.